go, and then we'll do our introduction. So parents, please head over behind Omro's bench and look at Mr. Bendix, and we will get you moving through the line here in just a little bit. Side of the scorer's table. First of all, our freshman wrestler Moses Metzger with Paul and Kanda Metzger. On to our sophomores, Jack Karst with Jason and Sandra Karst. Our wrestler Bryson Lindvall along with Jason and Nicole Lindvall. Up next we have Kaylee Richardson with her dad, David Richardson. And our last sophomore, Noah Schumacher with Stacy Perswell and Mark Schumacher. And on to our junior wrestlers, we have Peyton Backery with Marvel Backery, and Tim Backery is actually over there taking photos for us tonight. Brendan Ebert and Clayton Ebert with Bill Ebert. And one of our managers, Grace Schwartz with Amy Schwartz. We have Riley Lidke with Ken Lidke. And our last junior wrestler, Terry Gill with Tyler and Nicole Gill. And moving on to our seniors. First, our senior manager, Kylan Monroe with Tim and Melanie Monroe. Carson Fulton with Dad David Fulton. Owen Moy with Lee and Michelle Moy. Our next senior, Jacob Huey with Jim and Sherry Huey. Gage Kratz with Ray Kratz and Katie Dirksen. And our last senior wrestler, Eli Mom with grandparents Dennis and Sandra Mulvaney. And let's give our wrestlers, their parents and supporters and grandparents, the people who get them to practice and get them home, feed them and do all the amazing things they do to support their kids and our wrestling program. Thank you so much. Welcome to tonight's conference matchup between the Foxes of Omro High School and the Winnebago Lutheran Academy Vikings. Now, to honor America, those defending our freedom, we ask that those who are able to stand remove your hats and place your hand over your heart for the playing of our national anthem. The EWIA requires good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators at education-based interscholastic events. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and official in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, sexist, or ethnic comments or other intimidating or taunting actions or chants will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the site of competition. Please enjoy the match in a positive manner. Now we will introduce the lineups for tonight, starting at the 152 weight class. We have unopposed from Omro versus Owen Moy. At the 160 weight class, Trent Rosenthal for WLA, Moses Metzger. At 170 for Omro, Denver Treelevin, and for WLA, Brendan Ebert. At 182 for Omro, Carter Wardner. For WLA, Gage Kratz. For Omro at 195, Xander Sauls. For WLA, Jack Parse. At 220 for Omro, Nathan Piper, unopposed for WLA. And in the heavyweight, Andy Boy Hernandez for Omro against Pete Matthews from Winnebago Lutheran Academy. At 106 for Omro, Carter Besaw, wrestling unopposed. At 113 for WLA, Riley Litke, wrestling unopposed. At 120 for Winnebago Lutheran Academy, Clayton Ebert, wrestling unopposed. At 126 for Omro, Parker Besaw, for WLA, Kaylee Richardson. At 132 for Omro, Bryce Crawley. At 132 for WLA, Noah Schumacher. At 138 for Omro, Briley Welch. For WLA, Carson Fulton. And at 145 for Omro, Garrison Vandenberg. And for the Vikings, Jacob Huey. WLA's athletic trainer is Tyler Schwartz. We thank the sports medicine services provided through SSML.
I want to welcome you in here to Winnebago Lutheran Academy. Jordan King taking you through tonight's action between the Omro Foxes and the WLA Vikings. WLA comes into this duel 1-1 on the season in Flyway Conference play. So far, having wrestled against the Springs and North Fond du Lac Co-op and probably one of the conference favorites in Campbell Sport. Now, as Coach Recker kindly reminded me you can't recognize anyone in this conference as being the favorites outside of Lamira until someone unseats Lamira. Now, Campbellsport will say we haven't had a chance to unseat Lamira for the last 21 years, so they'll certainly take their chances this year, and it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. As WLA wrestled really, really well last week. I was impressed last Thursday when they did wrestle Campbellsport. Tradition-rich program, one that is extremely young, albeit, talking about Campbellsport, but one that I think WLA and Coach Recker would have been happy about how they wrestled just a week ago. They lost that one 52-47, and now welcome in an Omro squad that they lost to last season by just a single team point. We're going to start at 152, and it was announced as Owen Moyne wrestling unopposed. I don't know if that'll exactly happen. It will. So Owen Moyne at 152 gets it going with a 6-point forfeit victory. So 6-0 here for the Vikings. And then we'll move up to 160, where the Vikings will send out freshman Moses Metzger. 2 freshmen for the Vikings on the roster. Moses Metzger is one. Clayton Ebert is the other. Clayton will get a forfeit victory a little bit later on. Owen Moyne last week had a really tough match. He had to wrestle up a couple of weight classes and did a nice job, but unfortunately not enough there to get the job done. It is Moses Metzger, and I got to be honest, if the PA is not going to, if the table's not going to announce wrestlers, it's going to be extremely difficult for me to tell who's wrestling. I can tell you the WLA wrestlers. I can tell you who is announced. I can try to tell you who was announced. I didn't hear all of them for Omro. Normally, you have some movement with these, depending on how the flip goes. So we'll do our best here. Might have to focus on the WLA wrestlers as the Omro wrestler here gets the takedown over Metzger and trying to lock up a cradle. But Metzger doing a nice job working on that right leg currently of the Omro wrestler. This was Trent Rosenthal that was announced. So I apologize if it's not Trent Rosenthal, but I'm operating under that assumption. We're about a minute into this match here at 160. WLA got the forfeit at 152. They lead at 6-0 on the team scoreboard. Omro will get one forfeit victory. That'll be up at 220 with Nate Piper, who is announced up there. WLA not currently with the wrestler. Be interesting to see once Terry Gill comes back for the Vikings. Terry, a terrific wrestler, and it'd be nice for the Vikings to get him back whenever he is able to return for WLA. And certainly would allow them to fill that 220 weight class. And then the only thing that the Vikings are missing is 106. And if you can fill 13 of 14 weight classes, that's going to win you a lot of duels by itself. Metzger trying to base up here, getting to a single leg with 13 seconds left. And if you're an Omro Foxes fan, you're probably saying, Rosenthal, just ride this last 7 seconds out. Rosenthal trying to kick in a leg, not able to do so. But now he's got that right leg of Metzger pinned, and that'll get him through the first period. So a nice job on top there from Trent Rosenthal, who after a scramble was able to get the takedown. Metzger is certainly a talented young wrestler for the Vikings, and Rosenthal is going to decide to go on his feet, and that's where they'll start the second period. 2-0 lead for Rosenthal as they lock back up in the middle. Working on that left arm is Metzger. And now a 2-on-1, trying to crawl around, not able to get any control there, and a nice job by Rosenthal to fight it off. Haven't seen Rosenthal, hasn't needed a ton of offense yet. He used Metzger's offense against him in that first period to get the takedown. Now here's a shot in on that single leg. Picks the leg up, trying to scoop him over and get the takedown at the edge of the mat. They're going to say they go off the edge of the mat before the takedown was awarded. So no points awarded there for Rosenthal, and he keeps the 2-0 lead over Metzger. 1:25 and counting down here in the second period. Metzger straight back to a 2-on-1, but they'll lock it back up in the middle. And Rosenthal trying to work on the back of the neck there of Metzger. Moses trying to crawl around once again. Good battle so far between these two. 1 minute to go here, halfway through this match. 6-0 team lead if you're just joining us for the Vikings. It was a forfeit at 152. Owen Moyne picked that up for the Vikings. So Moyne moves to 1-1 on the conference dual season. Here's a big shot for Metzger. But once again, got to be careful. He's in on, switches off to a double. Got to be careful, though, to not get thrown to his back. And Metzger's currently, so there's the takedown, I do believe. We're getting a count here, too. So I think Rosenthal perhaps going to get all 3 back points here. Got to try to keep the shoulders off here if you're Metzger. Can he turn it into a reversal as Rosenthal got too high? He's got to pull his head out, get control. This would be a couple of big points here for Metzger as there's 16 seconds left here in the second period. They're going to give the takedown and 3 back points, so it's 7-0. Metzger's got to get his head out. They're going to say his head is out. There is the points awarded to Metzger. 7-2, and Metzger loses his headgear in the process, rides out on top, and Metzger, that's some important couple of reversal points there for the freshman heading into the final period here, and it'll be Metzger's choice. I think he's going to decide to go on top. Hasn't had a chance to go on top, work on top yet. They got 7-2 on the scoreboard. I believe that's correct. You had a takedown, 3 back points, reversal, 7-2. I think that is correct, but Coach Recker trying to make sure we're sorted out correctly there. Believe we are. 6-0 on the team score. Metzger going to have a chance to work on top for the first time. Just had about 5 seconds there at the end of that second period and trying to get the headgear situated. So can Metzger make something happen on top? Got to spin Rosenthal to his back and do something special here. He starts on top. Trying to sit and crawl out here is Rosenthal. Nice job by Metzger to follow through. And we'll see if he can try to crank that bar arm onto the back. I think that's what he's trying to do. Now switches off to a crossbody and goes back to a more conventional position here on top. Minute 40 to go here. Metzger working on top. He trails 7-2 here over Trent Rosenthal. Both of these listed at 152, although I will say Metzger's had to wrestle up all season long. I believe he's 0-2 if I got my notes right. But he's had to wrestle guys that are, you can just tell, physically much bigger than he is at this stage in his career. I believe that was a stall call on Metzger. I've never seen an official stop it for a stall call, but they did there. And Metzger will retake position on top. Yeah, I think that was probably a good stall call. Metzger has to get to work, though. There's really no reason to, in my opinion, now I'm not a wrestling official, so don't listen to me. But I don't think there's a reason you need to call a stall call. Call a stall call on a wrestler that's down by 5 points here in the third period. So Metzger's got to get to work anyway. Back to his feet goes Rosenthal, trying to get hand control. Metzger with the mat return. Got to be careful here, though. After the stall call, the warning, sorry, Metzger's got to get to work here on top. Also just 30 seconds left. He's got to flip Rosenthal to his back and pin him. That's where he's at. Now, I'll tell you what. You could get Rosenthal here not doing anything on the bottom for the last 15, 20 seconds or so. That could be a stall call, but it does not look forthcoming here from the referee. 7-2, and it looks like Rosenthal is going to finish this thing out and get a decision for the Foxes, but you avoid the any sort of major bonus points here if you're the Vikings. So it'll be a 7-2 win for Rosenthal up here at 160, and that makes the team score 6-3. Started off with a forfeit victory. Coming up here at 170, the Vikings will send out Brendan Ebert. And again, I believe it was it Denver Trelevin or Xander Souls? Who was announced for the Foxes. We're doing our best here. With all the shifting of the lineups, is certainly nice when they can announce it on the PA, but that's all right. We'll make do tonight. Perfectly all right. Brendan Ebert out there for the Vikes, so I do apologize to any folks from Omro that are tuning in and try to be as balanced as possible up here. So hand fighting here in the center of the mat. 6-3 on the team scoreboard. Vikings took third in their home invitational last weekend, had 6 schools in town, including Luther Prep. Shoreland was here. A couple others. Vikings 1 of 6. 1-1 in the Flyway Conference, a win, dominating win over Springs and North Fond du Lac, and then a close loss to a really good Campbellsport program. Shot in here for Ebert, caught by the Omro wrestler, and now trying to spin Ebert to his back is the Omro wrestler. That is not a takedown. Omro fans wanted a takedown there, and Brendan Ebert with the takedown. And was that a potentially dangerous, or what was the stop for? I think we got an injury time here, or maybe blood time. Not positive. That was a hard hit there, and Denver Trelevin is the wrestler for Omro. Just a minute in here. That's a little bit unfortunate for Brendan Ebert because he'd have had all 3 back points, easily all 3 back points, potentially more. But wrestler safety is number one. I think that was a good stoppage there as Trelevin was clearly shaken up. So it's 2-0 here for Brendan Ebert, and a nice job to stay active here on top and crawl around what looked like was a reversal attempt from Trelevin. And Trelevin back to his feet near the edge of the mat. Were they off before the escape? They were. 33 seconds left. Trelevin looks like he is going to get an escape here. So it would be, be doing something impressive here if Ebert is able to ride out the rest of this first period. 6-3 on the team scoreboard. Ebert's got a 2-0 lead here. Now spins Trelevin to his back. No back points being given. Oh, man. It certainly looks like there should be some counting going on. It is not, as Ebert trying to go chest to chest with Trelevin. There's the back points. He's going to get all 3 of them. Referee's got to crawl over to the other side here. 4 seconds left. He's in poor position to try to call a fall here. Ebert never got there, but 3 back points given. But on the wrong side of the wrestlers there to try to call a fall and whistle that one dead for the 6-point victory for the Vikings. Trelevin's choice, and he defers, and it'll be Ebert to go down. Start him in the middle of the mat here. 2 minutes on the clock in the second period, as it was almost a first period pin for Brendan Ebert up here at 170. 6-3 team lead for the Vikings. Ebert's been fantastic already this season. Ebert's been great. Huey's been awesome. Jack Karst has been terrific for the Vikings. Ebert trying to get an escape here and or a reversal. He's going to have the escape. As soon as he pulls his head out, he might have a reversal as well. Trelevin trying to spin Ebert to his back, but now has to let go. There's the reversal, and we got a 7-0 lead here at 170 for Brendan Ebert. Trelevin got to be careful as Ebert crawls around him, goes chest to chest. Ebert's in deep. There it is. There's the fall. Oh, that is a fall. And nothing whistled there. Ebert's got to clear out the hand. I don't see why the mat has not been slapped already. That's a fall. I mean, Ebert gets the fall finally, and it's a 12-0 Viking lead. 1 minute into the second period, so go down as a 3 minute and 1 second fall for Brendan Ebert up at 170. And he had him pinned for about 12 seconds there. I mean, I know I get a little antsy, and sometimes I call it too soon, but it certainly looked like the Omro coaches had resigned to the fact that their wrestler had gotten pinned, and Coach Recker had his arms stretched out wide. I mean, I think everyone in the building knew that was a fall about 5 seconds before it mattered. So moving up to 182, Gage Kratz for the Vikings. Is it Carter Warner for the Foxes? 12-3 lead for the Vikings here over the Foxes. This was a nip-tuck duel last season, ended up being within a point of each other. And that's when winning or losing well comes in. When duels are that close, it's just it comes down to bonus point victory. First of all, if you can fill all the weight classes, that's the best way. If you can fill all 14, you're going to win most duels that you're in, or a lot of duels that you're in. Here's a big double from the Omro wrestler on Kratz. They go off the edge of the mat. Now Kratz has got to be careful. He's been stuck in reverse here for the first part of this match. 1 minute and 12 seconds. Got to get moving forward here. We're going to start seeing stall warnings and stall calls here. So Kratz doing still getting pushed around a little bit. And Kratz is wrestling up here. But I believe the Omro wrestler is as well. I can't tell if that, again, don't know if that's Carter Wardner or who it is. There's a shot that's caught by Kratz. Kratz trying to work with the headlock there, the front headlock, and that was heavy hands from the Omro wrestler, and I think just a word of caution there on that was a hefty, healthy smack to the side of the head there. Both these wrestlers locking it back up. 25 seconds, check that, to go here in the first period. There's a shot from Kratz. Omro's wrestler crawls around trying to get a takedown, but a nice job by Kratz to stave that off. And they'll lock back up in the middle. Looks like the Omro wrestler trying to punch in double unders, not able to do so yet. He had almost an over-under there, and just 3 seconds to go here in the first period, and that'll do it. And it'll be Kratz's choice. He's going to defer. Omro's going to decide to go down, see if they can get an escape point, put the first point on the board in this match. 152 is a forfeit for WLA. 170 was a pin for Brendan Ebert. And that's how they got their 12 points. 3 points for Trent Rosenthal with a 7-2 decision over Moses Metzger. That's the point for Omro. 1-0 here. Just the escape point for Omro here at 182. Wrestling against Gage Kratz of WLA. First 30 seconds of this second period. And it'd be nice to see how the Vikings look late in the matches. I know, just talking to Coach Recker, he prides his programs on trying to be the fittest wrestling team in the gym. And I know he takes great pride in that. I walking past the wrestling room the other day, and I heard that out of the just through the door. Practices, I'm sure, are difficult, tough for the wrestlers, but you got to be prepared to go for 6 minutes. There's a big double from the Omro wrestler. They're going to go off the side of the mat here, though, as not able to get any type of control. 49 seconds to go here in the second period. 1-0 lead for Omro here at 182. It's a 12-3 lead for the Vikings on the team scoreboard. Up at 195. Not sure. I thought they had announced maybe it was Carter Wardner up at 195 taking on Jack Karst. because Nate Piper, the 195 wrestler, is going to bump up to 220 to get the forfeit win for Omro as well. So 13 seconds to go here in the second period. And got to be honest, not a ton of offense. All of the offense that has come from Omro. There's a big takedown with just 3 seconds left. And we're going to get enough counts here. No, not enough back points to award there. So, but that is a big takedown, as we only had an escape. And this is an interesting tactic by Coach Recker and Kratz to send Kratz on top, where he obviously gave up the escape relatively early in the last period. And now in the final period, decide to go on top, and Kratz has to cut him loose within 20 seconds of this third period starting. So kind of backfired there, as now Kratz faces a 4-0 deficit. He's got to get a takedown and some back points. I mean, up here at 182, really difficult if you're down by more than a takedown to just start cutting. There's a big shot from Kratz, working on that right leg, but fought off well by Omro here. 12-3 team score, 4-0 here. Omro with the lead at 182. There's a double again. That's a takedown at the edge. Ooh. They're going to say there was no takedown. That certainly looked like control for Omro there at the edge of the mat. Keeping his toes in, but no takedown awarded. 4-0 with a minute to go here in the third. Omro doing a nice job here. They did say Carter. There's a fan. Heard fan yell Carter, so it is Carter Wardner. So Manon Allard, perhaps, up at 195. Once again, I think this would be a decent loss for the Vikings. If you can just give up decisions, I think with how many weight classes the Vikings fill, if you just give up decisions when you do lose, you're going to make yourselves really difficult to beat here this evening. There is a takedown for Wardner. He's got 6. And I think the Viking coaches are just trying to tell Kratz to belly down. There's not enough time for a warning and a stall call. So if you're just able to stay belly down, you don't got to do anything. You don't got to stay active. Don't have to worry about stalling. Just stay off your back. 6 seconds left. Wardner trying to crank Kratz to his back. 1 second left. That's close to a fall, but Kratz is able to avoid that. There is 2 back points, 8-0. That gives a major decision at 195 with the 8-0 win. That'll make it 12-7. Would have been really nice there for the Vikings if Kratz could have avoided getting spun to his back. Now, you know, credit Kratz there for staying off the shoulders, keeping the shoulders up and not giving up the fall. Although it's going to take some work to get a fall tonight. I think we learned that in the 170 match. So we're up here at 195, 12-7. Vikings lead on the team scoreboard by virtue of a fall and a forfeit. Xander Souls, who is listed at 170, wrestling up here at 195 against the Vikings' Jack Karst. A couple of sophomores. Xander Souls. There is a takedown for Karst. And Jack Karst, who won at 195 against Campbell Sport, a big match for the Vikings. He was able to get the pin. And certainly helping the Vikings' cause just a week ago. Now breaking Souls back down. 12-7 on the team score. See if Karst, who leads 2-0 here early on here in the first, can spin Souls to his back and start collecting some back points. Karst, you can tell he is not a true 195. He is very active. This does not look like a typical traditional 195 match does. which can in some ways look like the 220s and the heavyweights, which is not to say that that's not entertaining, but it's just a different style of wrestling when you get up to the heavier weight classes, and a little less dexterity and a little less action. You know, certainly up at the collegiate level, you see a lot of those heavyweights go into overtime. You get no points in the first period, and then 1 point in the second for the escape, and then 1 point in the third for the escape, and then it's pretty much just who can get an escape, who can hang on and ride the other heavyweight out for 30 seconds. Karst able to, or pardon me, not Karst, Karst able to get a leg in here on Souls. And riding tough here on top. Not a ton of action since getting the takedown for Jack Karst, but he's content with the 2-0 lead and continuing to try to work an angle here on top for the sophomore. 8 seconds left. Karst got to be careful. I was going to say Karst almost spun Souls to his back, and I don't think there was a reversal there, so I think it's just a single point on the escape. It was. Karst was in a little bit of a predicament there, having been spun to his back. Momentum used against him. So it's a 2-1 lead for Jack Karst heading here to the second, and Karst will go down. Coming up next, it'll be a Viking forfeit, so Vikes got to be a little bit, you know, got to just keep that in the back of your mind. And then they're going to give up another 6 at 106. Karst tries a little hip toss there. Got to pull his head out to get control, and they're going to say he was off the mat. Karst looks down at his feet. There was 3 feet still in bounds, but somehow, I guess I just don't know. I don't know. Karst got the escape. 3-1 on the scoreboard. Should be 5-1. Karst with the takedown there at the edge of the mat, not awarded. 1:37 to go here in the second period. Very quick whistle on the edge of the mats early on here. Not a quick whistle in terms of awarding falls. There is the takedown for Karst. 5-1 lead. Looks like he's going to try to lock up a cradle, maybe spin Souls over, crank him over onto his shoulders, or maybe stack him up. Souls got to be careful because he's momentum kind of getting himself high there. Oh man, there's a situation that has Karst spun to his back, and there's Souls totally against the run of the match. Spins Karst to his back, locks him up, and gets the fall. 1 minute and 3 seconds left in the second period, and that is a big momentum shift for the Foxes. They lead at 13-12. There are a couple of huge matches there for Omro. You go back to Wardner over Kratz with that last second major, and now that's the difference, 13-12, and now they're going to send Nate Piper out, and Piper will get a forfeit. Normal 195er, and that'll make this a 19-12 duel. So the team score up there on that hometown bank scoreboard is 19-12. Andy Boy Hernandez was announced at heavyweight for Omro, and Peyton Backery is the heavyweight for the Vikings. So 3 straight wins there for Omro, a fall, a forfeit, and an 8-0 major decision consecutively. And that turns what was a 12-3 Viking lead into a 19-12 Omro lead. Andy Boy Hernandez, Peyton Backery. You can tell Backery has a little bit of a size advantage here. Usually Backery is the smaller of the heavyweights out there, but here he's got a size advantage on Andy Boy Hernandez. 1:30 to go here, first 30 seconds. I'll tell you what, this is pretty active as far as heavyweight matches go. A little hand fighting, but we've seen some actual shots here. There's a shot in by Hernandez. Caught by Backery. Backery going to snap him down. He's going to get the takedown, trying to run him over and spin him to his back. Nice job, Peyton Backery. That's a 2-0 lead on the takedown. Now trying to work the half. Onto his back goes Hernandez. Backery trying to go chest to chest. Going to get all 3 back points. Can Peyton Backery spin this one back around? He had a huge fall last week. Got the pin over the Campbell Sport wrestler. Chest to chest here. Can he get the fall? There it is. 1 minute and 5 seconds. Peyton Backery, that's the response that the Vikings needed. And that turns it right back around for WLA. 19-18 on the scoreboard. Vikings still trail after that, but certainly needed to get some of that momentum back, especially giving up a forfeit coming up here at 1:06. It'll be Carter Basaw who will make this once again 25-18. What I didn't tell you is that the Vikings will get forfeits at 113 and 120. So 25-18, and we'll have Riley Lidke for the Vikings at 113 to make it 25-24, and then Clayton Ebert at 120 for the forfeit. That'll make it 30-25. So after all of that, not a lot of wrestling, but a lot of points getting scored. 18 of them to be exact. 6 of those 18 going to the Foxes, and 12 of the 18 going to the Vikings, as Clayton Ebert will trot out there. The other Viking freshman collect 6 points for the team and trot back with the lead. 30-25. There you go. Confirmation of that. 30-25 on the team score, and now we'll go up to 126. This will be Kaylee Richardson for the Vikings, and it'll be Parker Basaw for the Foxes. So they'll head back to the center of the mat here. Kaylee Richardson wrestled JV last week and lost against Campbell Sport. Richardson trying to keep the hips back. She's got to be careful. She's going to get hip. Yeah, she's going to get thrown to the mat here. And Basaw's going to get the takedown. Oh, wow. That was a quick takedown call because Richardson looks like she's got control here. Richardson's got the reversal. Richardson spins Basaw to his back. Almost chest to chest here. She's going to get all 3 back points. There it is. There it is. That is huge for the Vikings as Kaylee Richardson gets the fall, and she is hyped up, rightfully so. That is a big win for the Vikings, and the bench loves it. The crowd loves it. Coach Recker loves it, and it's a 36-25 Viking lead. That one took just 34 seconds for Kaylee Richardson. How about that? Speaking of momentum, it is firmly in the grasp of the Vikings now. Give Peyton Backery a lot of credit with that fall. He was able to get up at heavyweight, and now the Vikings going to send out another one of their talented sophomores, Noah Schumacher. Richardson, a sophomore too, by the way. And it'll be Bryce Crowley for the Foxes. So it's an 11-point lead for the Vikings, knowing that they have Carson Fulton and Jacob Huey coming up here as well. A couple of very experienced wrestlers. Only 3 weight classes left and an 11-point lead for the Vikes. So if I do my math correctly, a Noah Schumacher win here would clinch the match if it is a fall. A Noah Schumacher fall would clinch the match. And actually, any Noah Schumacher win, I believe, would. Let's see here. Yeah. After this, we just have 138, 145. So 12 points maximum 12 points maximum on offer. And here's a quick takedown for Crowley. So Crowley's got the lead. Vikings not out of the clear just yet. Garrison Vandenberg and Jacob Bulin will be the 2 wrestlers coming up at 138 and 145 respectively for Omro. And we are looking like this could, I mean, theoretically, this could end up with a 1-point duel once again if everything works out just right. It's a 2-0 lead here between Crowley and Schumacher. Noah Schumacher got to be careful as he almost got locked up into a cradle there from Crowley. Schumacher trying to get hand control. He won by fall, did Schumacher, against Campbellsport, trying to build up a base. 45 seconds left here in the first period. Man, just trying to calm back down after that big Kaylee Richardson win. And I think a lot of the Vikings bench, it just erupted. I don't know how many people are over there, 20, 25 people on that Viking bench. Every single one of them was about 6 feet in the air after Richardson got the fall. 20 seconds to go here in the first period. 2-0 lead for Crowley. Schumacher got to be careful, but also trying to see if he can't work an escape. And Crowley's got his head in the armpit here, trying to get control and trying to figure out a way to get the escape. Ooh, we got a potentially dangerous there. No escape. Kind of put his hand on his head like that might be potentially dangerous. Didn't look like it. And no escape awarded, no potentially dangerous awarded. So Schumacher will get the choice here. He decides to go up. 2-0 lead for Crowley. Schumacher going to work on the left ankle here of Crowley. And got to be a little careful there. Just lets go. Now going to re-link up with the right ankle. Oh, he had a chance there to spin Crowley to his back. Unfortunate, not able to do so. Crowley tried to spin back in, try to get hand control and get a reversal. And Schumacher, oh man, he was almost in trouble. There's the escape for Crowley. He's got a 3-0 lead over Noah Schumacher. Now into an ankle pick for Crowley and trying to crawl around, get the takedown. I believe he'll be awarded that. There it is, 5-0 on the scoreboard here at 1:32 between Noah Schumacher and Bryce Crowley. Crowley, a junior for the Foxes. And 1 minute and 15 seconds counting down here in the second period between these two. Vikings have an 11-point lead. This would cut it to 36-28, which make it an 8-point dual score. Vikings have Carson Fulton and Jacob Huey, a couple of seniors that I think Coach Recker is very, very confident in, and rightfully so. These middleweights for the Vikings, talking about 132 through about 195. And you got to start throwing in Peyton Backery into that up at heavyweight. The Vikings just have that gap at 220 that really makes the top of their lineup, seem a little bit less than it is. I don't know how to phrase that. But it's not as scary. You just have that gap there. But Peyton Backery has been dynamite at heavyweight for the Vikings. Currently into major decision territory, and you got to be careful of getting stacked up here if you are Schumacher. Schumacher just try to keeping the shoulders off the mat, and he's able to save. Oh, he's saved by the horn there, but keeps the shoulders off the mat. 10-0, getting close to tech fall territory. That's a 15-point lead. And the only Coach Recker's advice there was just finish the match. And I think that's a good advice there, because you finish this match, that means you're at least, it's a major decision. Oh, and back to his back. This is going to end it no matter what. It's all 3 back points going to be given. You got the reversal already. Schumacher's either going to give up a tech fall or a fall here. See if he can keep his shoulders off. Well, that is really, really close. As he's chest to chest is Crowley. There's the fall, and it is. Oh, it doesn't really matter. Would have been a 15-0 tech fall anyway, but gets all 6 points, so it is 31-36. Good wrestling there by the junior Bryce Crowley of Omro. So Vikings still lead it by 5. 2 weight classes to go. Vikings got to get one of the next 2. That's it. They know that. Garrison Vandenberg here at 1:38 for the Foxes will take on Carson Fulton for the Vikings. And Carson had a big pin, or no, Carson had a major decision. That was probably the most entertaining of the matches last week, in my opinion. Now, it was that entire Campbell Sport duel was fun to watch. You had a bunch of falls in that match, but one of 2 or 3 matches I think that was not a fall was Carson Fulton's, and Carson did an excellent job. He had to cut the Campbell Sport wrestler loose late in that one. And I remember with about 15 seconds left, I said, I don't think he left himself enough time. Shot in on a huge double and got the major decision victory. There's a shot from Vandenberg and a good job from Fulton to keep his hips back, crawl around, use the offense against Vandenberg, and now has the takedown. 2-0 for Carson Fulton. Breaks Vandenberg back down. Now trying to work the half. Power half. Drive Vandenberg over. Onto her back. There's a fall. Oh, the falls have gotten a little quicker here over the last couple of matches. And Carson Fulton will have his hand raised, and that'll clinch the duel for the Vikings. Good wrestling here tonight for the Vikes. We still have 1:45 to wrestle yet. But a nice job by Carson Fulton to take care of business. Didn't get the time on that day. Cleared it back to 2 minutes quickly. And that is a 42-31 lead for the Vikings. So they're going to get the win here tonight. And let's see if Jacob Huey can finish it out with style for the Vikes. Huey or Ebert that finished the duel against Campbell Sport. But with Huey and Ebert, and they got some leaders on this team, does Coach Recker. I mean, I'll tell you what, he's going to miss this senior group of wrestlers. Front headlock here for Jacob Huey, trying to crawl around, get the takedown. There it is. This is Jacob Bulin for Omro. Just 20 seconds into the first period here, and Huey breaks Bulin back down, trying to work here on top. Staying active. Got the arm bar on the back. Trying to drive him over. No, now he's got him flipped and still has hand control. There's the pin with 40 seconds into this match. It is completely ended in style here on Parents' Night for the Vikings. What turns into a fairly dominating win over the Omro Foxes, 48-31, after Jacob Huey takes care of Jacob Bulin, finishing it up at 1:45. Well, that's a good way to kick the week off here on WLA TV. Just 2 events in this shortened week. Had the Christmas concert on Monday and Tuesday, so no sports here at WLA, all away on Tuesday. WLA girls got a win over Ripon. Boys took one on the chin to these Omro Foxes. Well, not these Omro Foxes, but the boys basketball Omro Foxes took one on the chin to them. But the Vikings take care of business here tonight, 48-31 on the hometown bank scoreboard. And let's tell you how we got there. Started off with a forfeit for Owen Moyne at 1:52. Moses Metzger lost a 7-2 decision to Trent Rosenthal to make the score 6-3. Then the Vikings got fall for Brendan Ebert up at 170. Ebert got the fall in 3 minutes and 1 second. That made it 12-3. Then it was 3 straight for the Foxes. A Carter Wardner 8-0 major decision to make it 12-7. At 195, it was Xander Souls who got the pin of Jack Karst to make it 13-12. At 220, it was a forfeit for Nate Piper to make it 19-12. Then the turning point, in my opinion, of the match, which was at 285 with Peyton Backery. Backery got the fall. 19-18 was the team score after that. Carter Basaw had a forfeit win then for the Foxes. That made it 25-18. The Vikings got back-to-back forfeits for Riley Lidke and Clayton Ebert at 113 and 120 respectively. That brought the team score all the way back to 30-25. Kaylee Richardson, the star of the night for the Vikings, at 126, she got the pin of Parker Basaw, making it 36-25. And then after a Bryce Crowley pin of Noah Schumacher, which made it 36-31, looked a little bit trying there for the Vikings. It was not. After within the first minute of his match, Carson Fulton was able to pin Garrison Vandenberg. That locked up the match for the Vikes. They led 42-31 at that point, and then Jacob Huey closed things out with a bang at 145. 48-31, final score here tonight. We'll be back with you tomorrow evening here on WLA TV. The Vikings girls basketball team welcomes in Seymour. Only varsity action tomorrow night. JV2 was off playing elsewhere tonight, but no JV games tomorrow, so we will come on air just shortly before 7 o'clock tomorrow night right here on WLA TV, WLAVikings.org/WLA TV. If you're looking for a link, bookmark that, why don't you? Appreciate everyone tuning in here tonight. 48-31, the Vikings get a conference win over the Omro Foxes. This brings the conference record for the Vikings in the Flyway to 2-1, wins over North Fond du Lac and Springs Co-op and Omro, and their lone loss coming to Campbellsport. 48-31. We'll be back tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, right here for WLA girls varsity basketball against Seymour. Have a good night.